Today's lesson is called Springtime for Polar Bears, Visiting Svalbard. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
I'm Roger, and today we're going to continue talking about Svalbard, or the islands of Svalbard. These are islands that are farther north than the northern coast of Norway, so it might take a little time to get there. You need to fly to Europe and make a connecting flight to Oslo, and then maybe take a local flight farther north. It's going to take you some time to get there, but it might be worth it because it's like a winter wonderland there. You might think, oh, it's like a barren winter wasteland, but no, you're going to see those pastel sunsets, especially in March and April, and then you might even catch a glimpse of all the local animal life, including polar bears.
Including polar bears. How cool, Svalbard. It's like a winter fairy tale come to life, but like Roger said, it might be difficult to get there, so if you do want to take a trip, go ahead and give your travel agent a call, and maybe they can arrange that for you. Anyways, folks, that's enough talking for now. Let's go ahead and take a short break, but when we come back, we'll start the second part of our article on Svalbard.
In between Arctic adventures, you can spend your time in Longyearbyen, one of the world's northernmost permanent settlements. Here, you can take a selfie outside of the Global Seed Vault, which currently houses over 980,000 seed samples for the future. You can also visit the world's northernmost church, museum, and art gallery, and shop tax-free. Just remember to take your shoes off before going into stores. This tradition goes back to the coal mining days when people were afraid of tracking coal dust into buildings.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 vault 这个字是名词，指储藏室、保险库。例如 We visited a wine vault while traveling in Italy. 我们在意大利旅行期间参观了一座酒窖。或是 The bank keeps money in a heavily protected vault. 那间银行将钱存放在一个戒备森严的金库里。另外，这个字也可以当动词，指用手支撑或撑杆跳跃。像是 Gymnasts were vaulting, flipping, and leaping all over the gym during their practice session. 体操选手练习时在体育馆各处做撑手跳跃、翻滚和飞跃动作。接着我们看到形容词 tax-free 指免税的。例如 I bought a gift for my younger sister in a tax-free shop. 我在免税商店帮我妹妹买了一个礼物。另外补充一个同义形容词 duty-free D-U-T-Y-F-R-E-E, duty-free. 举例来说 We can bring only a limited number of duty-free items into the country. 我们只能携带有限的免税品入境。再来，我们看到片语 go back to 表示追溯至……像是 Historians believe that the cave paintings go back to about 15,000 years ago. 历史学家认为洞穴画可以追溯至15000年以前。另外，补充两个同义片语。第一 date back to 表示追溯到、回溯到某个年代、时期。例如 Many of the rare books in this library date back to the medieval times. 这间图书馆里的许多稀有书籍可以回溯到中世纪时期。第二 trace back to 表示起源、年代，追溯到……举例来说 The origin of Thanksgiving traces back to the time European pilgrims first landed in North America. 感恩节的起源追溯到欧洲清教徒最初抵达北美洲的时候。
Okay, today we're going to talk some more about Svalbard. We'll talk about Svalbard in detail. In between Arctic adventures, you can spend your time in Longyearbyen. one of the world's northernmost permanent settlements. Okay, so I guess that's a town there in Svalbard, and it's a town that's really far north. If you go as far north as you can, then we say northernmost. Like here in Taiwan, the northernmost point in Taiwan is Shimen, whereas the southernmost point in Taiwan is Eluanbi.
There you go. So here we're in a place called Longyearbyen, one of the world's northernmost permanent settlements, i.e., this place, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's permanent. Yeah, some settlements are settled. They're started, and then people abandon them or leave them, okay? But that's not the case with this settlement, okay? If you go to Longyearbyen, you can go back there 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and it will still be there because this is a permanent settlement. Yes, if something is permanent, it is not temporary. It's meant to last for a long time. It's meant to last indefinitely or maybe even forever. Anyways, here we're in Longyearbyen. You can take a selfie outside of the Global Seed Vault, which currently houses over 980,000 seed samples for the future. I've heard about this place Svalbard. Okay, chances are if anything bad happened, like God forbid, there's World War III or something terrible were to happen, chances are Svalbard would be spared, okay? So here they've decided to put the Global Seed Vault there, okay? And here they store seeds for the future. So if anything bad happened on planet Earth, we'd still have a vault, a big place, a big safe place that contains these seeds. By the way, it says here you can take a selfie here. Go for it, okay? That's a safe selfie, but like we said on part one of our article, you don't need to take a selfie with the polar bear there in Svalbard. That would be a bad idea. But hey, outside of the Global Seed Vault, go for it. Take selfies to your heart's delight.
Now you can also visit the world's northernmost church, museum, and art gallery and shop tax-free. Ooh, that sounds pretty good there too. So there's that word northernmost again. It's the church in the world that's the farthest north you can go anywhere. There's also a really far north museum and an art gallery, which is a place where you can go check out art. A gallery is kind of like a small museum.
Further, it says here that you can shop tax-free, i.e., if you go there and you travel, what you see is what you get as far as prices are concerned. You won't have to pay any added tax.
I did want to mention when you travel, you often go to duty-free shops. Tax-free, duty-free, they mean the same thing. And just remember to take your shoes off before going into stores. Now, that might be unusual to take your shoes off going into a store. It's not unusual to take your shoes off when going into your friend's house. But a store, we always wear our shoes when we go into 7-Eleven. But hey, here you got to take your shoes off. What for? Why would you need to do that? Isn't it going to be cold on your little tootsies?
That is possible, okay? But I think you're trying to figure out, why do they do this? It's such a cold place. Why would they take their boots or shoes off when they're going into stores? Well, this tradition goes back to the coal mining days when people were afraid of tracking coal dust into buildings. So maybe people in shops and buildings thought, you know what? I don't care about how cold your feet are going to be. You can't drag all that filthy coal dust and soot into my building. So take your shoes off. And everyone thought, okay, we'll make this sacrifice. Sure, our tootsies, our feet, our toes are going to be cold, but still we'll have a cleaner Svalbard as a result of taking our shoes off before entering certain places. Anyways, it says here that this tradition goes back to the coal mining days, i.e., you can trace this particular custom or tradition back in history all the way back to the coal mining days.
You could also say dates back. It just goes back there, or it started back in these certain times. Many traditions go back to Europe, for example, in the United States. Lots of customs and traditions that they have in the United States go back to Europeans, or go back to Europe there, where the tradition started. And in this particular case, yes, they mined coal there in this part of the world, so their feet got really dirty, their boots, and of course they had to take them off so they wouldn't track coal dust into buildings. Here we've got the verb to track, which means as you walk, you basically leave footprints, and you don't want to track coal dust into your house. And sometimes you got to be careful. If it's winter, you might track snow inside the house. If you've been out playing in the snow, my mother always made me get the snow off our boots before we came into the house. Otherwise, we'd track snow onto the carpet.
There you go. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be learning some more about Svalbard.
Other settlements in Svalbard include Barentsburg and Pyramiden, which are old Russian coal mining towns featuring Russian culture and old Soviet architecture. Barentsburg is the second largest town in Svalbard with around 450 residents, but Pyramiden is now a ghost town. The people who lived there left in a hurry when the mine closed, and you can still see cups left on the tables.
Okay, now remember in Svalbard you could visit Longyearbyen, which is the world's northernmost permanent settlement, but there are other towns to check out. Other settlements in Svalbard include Barentsburg and Pyramiden, which are old Russian coal mining towns featuring Russian culture and old Soviet architecture. So Russians were there mining coal in the mines. And, of course, some of their culture has remained behind. Maybe they have the balalaikas, the musical instruments, and Russian dancing, and those Russian dolls and stuff like that. But also they've got some of that awful old Soviet architecture during the Soviet Union days when they built those buildings as all part of socialism and stuff like that. But they're still there. I guess they have some value for tourists.
Yeah, more on Barentsburg. Barentsburg is the second largest town in Svalbard with around 450,000 residents. Wait a minute, scrap that. Okay, remember, this is Svalbard, okay? It's north of the Arctic Circle. You're not going to find really big cities that far north, okay? Usually, larger cities are found in more temperate places, okay? So here we are in a very remote place. Don't expect really, really big cities, but you can expect warm, cozy, wonderful little towns with around 450 residents. By the way, if we use this word residents, we're talking about the people who live in a certain place or a certain area. If you live in a city, you are a resident of that city. Okay? If you live in a home, let's say at a certain address, you are a resident of that place.
It comes from the verb to reside, which means to simply live in a certain place. So there are 450 people who live there, but the other town, Pyramiden, is a ghost town, which means no one lives there anymore. The buildings are still there. People left quickly, but nobody actually lives there now, so we're calling this a ghost town. It's a place worth checking out. The people who live there left in a hurry when the mine closed, and you can still see cups left on the tables. This does happen sometimes. Mines close or factories close, and then everybody leaves for jobs somewhere else, but they leave everything else behind. And in this particular case, there are still cups on the tables. What a sight to see.
Yeah, this place is now a ghost town. It's really spooky, I guess, but also really cool. Yeah, I kind of like ghost towns. Spooky, but cool. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. But don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
For people looking for a truly different vacation experience, Svalbard should be at the top of their list. With its remarkable seasonal light, startling animal life, and unusual settlements, this archipelago offers the opportunity for a once-in-a-lifetime trip. If you're not careful, you may be bitten by the polar bug and dream of returning to these wondrous islands again and again.
第三部分我们看到单字 startling 这个字是形容词，指惊人的、令人吃惊的。例如 The sound of the bomb was startling and it woke up everyone in the town. 爆炸的声音非常惊人，惊醒了镇上所有人。或是 It was startling to see the whale jump out of the water so close to the boat. 看见鲸鱼在离船边那么近的水面跳出来，很令人吃惊。再来，我们看到名词 archipelago 指群岛、列岛。举例来说 Indonesia is an archipelago comprised of over 17,000 islands. 印尼是个群岛，由超过17000个岛屿组成。最后，我们看到单字 wondrous， 这个字是形容词，指奇异的、绝妙的、令人惊叹的。例如 Valerie's family visited many wondrous sites while traveling in Spain. Valerie 一家在西班牙旅行时走访了许多奇异的地点。或是 The fireworks over the harbor were a wondrous sight. 港口上空的烟火是个令人惊叹的景象。
Okay, let's continue talking about Svalbard here. And I guess one of the main reasons you want to go there is to check out the northern lights there, maybe, or the sunsets, because they have all those different pastel colors. But for people looking for a truly different vacation experience, Svalbard should be at the top of their list for the various reasons we've listed in our program today and our program last time. Again, for the light at twilight, the ice caves, the snowmobiles, the museum, the northernmost town, the church, the ghost town, etc., etc. All of those things are good reasons for you to mark it on your calendar and say, hey, I'm going there. I'm going to be the first kid on my block to go there.
Hey, and don't forget those beautiful pastel colors. Yeah, with its remarkable seasonal light, startling animal life, and unusual settlements, this archipelago offers the opportunity for a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So, it might sound a little bit crazy to go to a place this remote, but it will be worth it. If you take a trip like this, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. It will definitely be a once-in-a-lifetime trip, a trip to remember, the trip of a lifetime. Anyways, let's back up right now. We've got some vocabulary here to talk about. First of all, if something is remarkable, it's so great, it's so good, that you have to say something about it. You have to make a remark about that thing. That's what you mean when you say that something is remarkable. You want to say something about that thing because it's just so good. For instance, you could say, Glenn Gould was a remarkable piano player. Yes, he was a fantastic pianist. Further, it also says here that the light is seasonal. Seasonal is the adjective. It means of or having to do with a season.
Yeah, like some fruit in Taiwan is seasonal. Like, I want to have mangoes now, but hey, it's a seasonal fruit. I can't buy any now because you have to wait for a certain time of the year to buy mangoes. But in any case here, it does have the seasonal light, especially as we mentioned in March and April. It's a great experience. Maybe they have wonderful sunrises too. It's also got startling animal life. Startling, again, is wonderful, fantastic, remarkable, great, etc. And also we've got these unusual settlements, which are like small towns. With all those things, this archipelago offers the opportunity for a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Archipelago just means a group of islands. Like Indonesia is an archipelago. There are lots of islands there.
Anyways, if you go to Svalbard, it will definitely be a once-in-a-lifetime trip. And if you're not careful, you may be bitten by the polar bug and dream of returning to these wondrous islands again and again. Yes, these are definitely wondrous islands. They're filled with wonder. You'll fall in love with them, definitely. If you go there, you'll be filled with astonishment based on what you see there in Svalbard. All right, folks, with that, today's lesson is now in the books, and it's time for you guys to hear from the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第3部分的第2句提到 With its remarkable seasonal light, startling animal life, and unusual settlements, this archipelago offers the opportunity for a once-in-a-lifetime trip. 斯瓦巴有着绝美的季节光、令人惊艳动物和独特的聚落。那这个群岛提供了一生难得一次的旅行机会。这边要介绍2个文法重点。首先，课文用到的句型是 with 加名词逗号主词加动词，表示有什么什么，因为有什么什么。那其中这个 with 加名词是介系词片语，它是用来表达出某一个条件或是原因，去补充说明主词或是补充说明主要子句。我们来造2个例句。 With this medicine, you'll feel better in no time. 有了这种药，你很快就会觉得比较舒服了。With Laura's help, we were able to finish the project ahead of schedule. 因为有了 Laura 的帮忙，我们才能超前进度，提早完成那份企划专案。好，那第二个要介绍的是 once in a lifetime。Lifetime 这个名词表示一辈子或是终生。Once in a lifetime 就表示一生一次的，像 this type of opportunity comes along once in a lifetime 就可以用来表达这样的机会一生只会出现一次。好，那如果把 once in a lifetime 这4个字之间加上连字号，就可以变成复合形容词。我们用 a once in a lifetime opportunity 就可以表达毕生难得的机会。那么课文里说到这个once in a lifetime trip 就表示一生难得一次的旅行机会。好，那再补充一下，我们还可以用名词加上 of a lifetime 来表达终身难得的某事物，千载难逢的某事物。像 the opportunity of a lifetime 就表示千载难逢的好机会。好，接着读到课文最后一句，他说If you're not careful, you may be bitten by the polar bug. 如果不小心呢，你可能会被极地虫咬到。好，当我们说 be bitten by the 加上活动再加上 bug， 字面的意思是被什么什么虫咬到，那它是用来表达深受某个活动吸引，或者是迷上某一种活动。这个 bug 虫在这边它其实是指迷恋、热衷，所以我们课文里面这个 be bitten by the polar bug 不是真的被极地的虫咬到哦，而是说迷上极地、爱上极地。那其他常见的用法还有 be bitten by the acting bug 被演戏虫咬到，那就表示对演戏有兴趣，爱上了演戏。be bitten by the travel bug被旅游虫咬到，就表示爱上旅游了。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Permanent. The Mona Lisa is part of the Louvre's permanent exhibition. Gallery. We visited several modern art galleries during our stay in New York. Resident. Residents in this building aren't allowed to keep pets. Remarkable. Critics praise the actor's remarkable performance. Seasonal. As Christmas approaches, seasonal music can be heard in department stores and supermarkets. Startling. Over the course of the crime investigation, the police made several startling discoveries.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion question for today. Which aspect of Svalbard sounds the most interesting to you, and explain why?
I'm curious about the ghost towns there, like Pyramiden, because places like that have always fascinated. Okay, one day, this place is filled with people and it's bustling with activity, and the next day, it's totally empty, okay? All settlement has vanished and disappeared, and certain evidence that people once lived there does exist, and it's really interesting to take that stuff in.
Well, I think those pastel colors in Twilight sound really interesting to me because all those other things I've kind of seen before. I've seen snowmobiles before. I've seen little small towns coming from the Midwest of the United States. So yeah, those interesting colors at Twilight would be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen colors like that before.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.